It doesn't make sense yet, but let me explain. Okay. Alright. This one's actually pretty hot, so I can't guzzle it like I usually do. But anyway, hello. Hope you're doing alright. Today, on... we have this little boy, my Gibson SG Standard from 2005. And I've had this guitar for about 3 years now. And the story of it is actually quite good. I got it from my friend, Ryan Upwood. We used to play in a band, we used to play in Hovis together. And he was our guitarist. He's a very, very, very good guitarist. He's now part of Now We Roam, and they've got their album coming out soon, so definitely check those guys out. I've been to their concerts, and I get drunk. I like it. They're good boys. But yeah, this was his guitar, and we met in college, and this was like the guitar he bought when we started talking. And he loved it. He played it a lot. Before that, it was owned by a guy who was like touring a lot, and he'd been all over Europe. So this guitar is, it's got some damage done to it. It looks good from a distance, but then you get close, you're like, oh, what the hell? It's like a zombie guitar, almost, if you want to call it that. But it's not, because it's alive and well, I assure you that. He played this guitar a lot, and he played a Strat at the time, and he was pining after something different, and he never really played this that often. But I'd always say, bring the SG, bring the SG, bring the SG, and he'd be like, oh, okay. And he'd bring it, but he wouldn't really play it all the time. And I was just like looking at it, and I really, really wanted it. Because I never had an SG before, and I had this like Phil X guitar I'd made in the style of, which was a Nevada SG with a bolt-on neck, and the cutaways were really shallow, so anything from this fret onwards, you couldn't reach. And the body was like that thick, that's about maybe 2.5 inches thick. For an SG, you know that's wrong, if you know anything about SGs. And it was just unplayable, really. And I had all the work done to it. I had it sent off by Psycho Setups. He refretted it and had some really good parts on it. It had the signature pickup, everything. But it was just crap, to be honest. And whenever this came over, I was like, oh, I really, really wanted it. And I was just pining after it for so much. And eventually, he lends it to me, and I'm like, awesome, okay, great. And we do a gig at the Brit Bar back in 2017 when he gives this to me, but he forgot the strap, so I couldn't play it, so I was playing this other guitar until then. And then the day after, we had a New Year's Eve gig at Scally's, and I've got a really cool poster for that. I'll show you that one from that night. And I took the same guitar that I took the last night, changed the strings, because I broke one on the very last song, break another string. I'm like, well, great, awesome, this is amazing, just my luck. But I brought this one just in case. I ended up playing it for the rest of the gig. And also a funny story from that. I get it home from the Brit Bar. I'm trying to unlock the code because it comes with the original case. I'm trying to find the code for it. I'm like, oh, what is it? And I'm texting Naomi at the time, like, he didn't tell me the code, And then at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a reply from Ryan. It's like, oh yeah, the code's this. I'm like, okay, great. And then I crack it and I open it, and then I'm playing it all night until the next gig, which was great. But yeah, so from that moment on, this was like an awesome guitar, which I really loved. The neck profile is fatter for a usual SG. It's a bit wider, rounder, which is nice. I like that a lot. And the neck on this is a dream. It's like one of the best SG necks I think I'll ever play in my life. It's got a really smooth fretboard, but it is rosewood, but it just feels like ebony. It feels so nice. And the frets have plenty of life left in them, although I did need to get them crowned by Ayrton Lenny. Thank you very much, Ayrton. And yeah, it's just been an awesome, awesome guitar, which I've really loved, and I'm really appreciative for Ryan selling it for me. He is selling it to me, I should say. He's a very good boy. Love him lots and lots and lots and lots. And yeah, he gave me a really good price on this, and I'm eternally grateful for that. Now, let's talk about what's original on it, because that will be the shortest segment. It's the original colour, original frets, original truss rod cover, original scratch plate, original toggle switch, original electronics, original jack, and original pots. The only thing about the electronics that's been changed is the capacitors. They were changed from the original Gibson ones to the orange drops. That was while Ryan had it. I sold in the orange drops because they were sounding a bit woolly. But now the pickups and all the hardware, I changed to nickel just because I'm a snob. I prefer nickel over chrome because it ages better. I've got really acidic sweat because of my eczema and my creams, and it just looks better when it ages on nickel. for one. And also I prefer the look of it. I like the darker yellowish green hue you get from it. Whereas with chrome you get this weird silvery blue, which I don't dig so much. Yeah, all my guitars are, if they have a metal on it, they're going to be changed to nickel. My Junior has nickel on it, but the studs are chrome because the studs that it came with doesn't fit the threads, and it drives me nuts, but I can live with it. But this one here, all nickel, and we've got a 57 Classic in the neck, which is awesome, and I've also got a Tim Shaw PAF in the bridge. I was very lucky to get some Tim Shaws off of a mate of mine, and their PAF style pickups, Gibson's first PAF, and with that being said, it's not technically advised, but you could have them both in whatever position you want, because they're just humbuckers at the end of the day. So I've got a set, and I've got both of them in the bridge pickup of certain guitars. I've got one in here and one in a Les Paul Custom, which will be on the show at some point. The reason why I changed these pickups is because the original 490s, usually they're like really fine, really snappy, really top-endy, but for this guitar they just sounded really muffled. And next to this guitar, which is my main, it just didn't really compete. I changed over to this, and you expect a snappier sound from an SG when you come from a Les Paul, but no, it was just really muffled, and I couldn't really get the best tone out of it. So changing those pickups, there was a lot of pickup changes, mind, like Seymour Duncan's and everything, but these are the ones I've settled on for so far. If I get like silly money, then I might put some Montes in, just because I like matchy sets, because there is definitely a difference between the two voicings here, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. They're not too bad. Another cool thing about this guitar is it gets around a lot. I use it for the jam night, but I have a lot of other guitars that I use for the jam night as well, and now that I have the jam night, I'll take my lesser expensive guitars and then I'll bring my two mains, my Trini and my Gibson, whenever I'm doing my own gigs, because then it's just me playing them, and I know they're going to be safe because it's me. So I take these guitars out for the Brit Bar jam nights and everything, but I have a lot to choose from, so some of them get backbenched, which is unfortunate. But this is used a lot in recording and for just sitting home and enjoying it and playing it. But it's also been used with Ed Lenny as the Angus Young for Hell's Bells, which is the Bristol AC/DC band. They play all over the world, in fact. It's just come back from Dubai. But yeah, he had it for a while. I was lending it to him, but last year he borrowed it for some time, and he was just about to give it back to me, and he realised something. He realised that somehow there's a huge chip that came off the headstock, and he was like, "Ugh!" So he didn't tell me about it. He just went ahead and fixed it. He's really good at repairs, and he got some of his sister's nail varnish and maybe his mum's, I don't know. Hi Mandy, hi Devon. And he like colour matched it as best he could. So yeah, I'll show you that. It is on this side. Yeah, there you go. See that? Can't see it so clearly, but luckily the serial number's still intact. But yeah, as I say, like on camera, it's quite hard to spot. There you go. Now the light's there, you can kind of see the colour difference, but he did a really good job on that. Like the shape is like the one thing you want to salvage, especially with a tack that big. I think it was more just the paint that came off. Morley, that's the real word. Yeah, I think the paint just came off, but he did a really good job to salvage it. I've also changed it to Grovers, as you can see. They came with the Gibson Deluxe tuners with the snot green ones. Again, ugly, snot green. But they lost their tension, and I went to Cluson's, the 50 style reissues, and I did a really clever thing with the bushings. Instead of using like conversion bushings and paying through the nose to get them, I actually got some electrical tape and then wrapped it around, cut it to size, wedged it in, and that worked for a while. But again, I've had it for 3 years now, and electrical tape just loses its integrity, and it was also being compressed, so eventually you have to keep on redoing it and redoing it and redoing it, and then the tuners themselves just lost their grip and it was constantly slipping. And a Gibson guitar and an SG tuning stability issues anyway, I ended up taking those off and putting on these chrome Grovers that I got, and now it's stable as anything. It's really good. A bit neck heavy, but I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And while we're on the subject of it being neck heavy, there's something I regret doing. I wasn't used to having a guitar with a strap that goes straight down and then to the side. I'm used to having it both on the same side. All my guitars have that. at the time of buying this. My Les Paul especially, which is my main guitar, play it all the time like that. Having a guitar sit to the side is what I'm used to. Whereas with an SG, it kind of sits to the front unless you put it to the side. I was like, nope, my guitar, I'm gonna do something else to it. So I put a strap button right there. I regret it, I do. It's the first thing you see. But what can you do? I can't undo it. And also, Tony Iommi did it, so I'm not exactly a bad guy. Tony Iommi did it, it's fine. You're probably wondering why I had an interest in with the fan. And I was going to film this yesterday, this video, but I did something really, really stupid. When I'm asleep, or about to go into bed for the night, I put my guitar stand up by the bed so I can just like grab my guitar as I'm falling asleep, 'cause it takes me ages to go to sleep. And I can just play in my bed, whatever. And my fan, like really close to me, because I need the cold air and the movement. I was putting it back up at the taller space for the rest of the day. And the SG was right underneath it. And I'm on the other end of my bed. And then somehow, I don't know how, because I put it down well, the fan falls over onto the guitar. It goes like just straight down here, and the guitar falls over and the fan breaks. So that really, really sucked, and it didn't make me too happy. I wasn't in the best of moods yesterday because my fan broke and my SG is more damaged, but it's not exactly in a, oh, you won't notice it. You definitely notice it. It's got damage there. It's got like little tiny checking marks right there, a scratch there, and more on the back, more on the sides, and it's just like, for God's sake, why? It was one of those days yesterday. And then later on, I'm playing my Junior. I changed the strings the day before that, and they break. That was annoying. You know what that feels like. It sucks. Yeah, if it were any other guitar, then I would be like spitting feathers and I'd be crying in my sleep. My PRS, that's in mint condition. My Trini Lopez is in great condition. My 59, that's in great condition. That could have been any one of those guitars, but it was this one, which is the one you wouldn't notice it on as much. So it happened to the right guitar, but it shouldn't have happened to you. I'm sorry, darling. I'm sorry. I hope you like this guitar as much as I do. I'm really, really fond of this guitar. I don't use it as much as I should, but I am using it more, especially now that all the appropriate changes have been made and it's like stable as a rock. Yeah, I'm going to keep this in close grip now and look after it. I'm so sorry this happened to you. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the playing footage. And while I've got you, I'll tell you why I was gone for a while. My band and I, Hoster, released our first EP, and I was mixing that like to the very last second, and then I had to do all my uni work to catch up on why I did it and how I did it and who I learnt from, whatever. And then I had to do more essays, and then it came out, and it was my birthday, and I just wanted a break. I was like, I had a few days of doing nothing, and now we're back onto it. We're back on schedule with what's that then? 5 with the Gibson SG. So yeah, if you like what you see here, or you have a guitar you would like to get on the show, then hit me up and let's have a conversation about it. We can do it over Zoom, we can do it over Skype, and once the lockdown lifts, then we can arrange something also. But yeah, I hope you're alright, wherever you are, whoever you are, I hope you're doing alright. And be safe, and if you can, get yourself some stylish face masks for when you go out and about. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry for my absence. See you later.